Hey guys, it's Lainey. Welcome back to Crafted by Lucas. So at the end of this video, I said that if I made any changes, I would let you know. I would probably post it on Instagram, but I decided just to do an intro. So it's a little backwards. I've already made the card, but I wanted to share the additional embellishments that I added just to make the card more balanced. So super simple change, but just added those 3 embellishments up at the top because it was just really heavy, you know, 3/4 of the way down, and then just had a lot of white space there. So I just wanted to create a little more unity and repetition with the sequins and also help it just become more of a balanced card. So that is the card, guys. I know it's a little backwards, but nevertheless, let's go ahead and with the card build. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It also supports my channel, so I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new here, and let's get started. I have so many elements pulled. I'm sorry for you guys because I'm using a lot to bring a card together, but nevertheless, I think you'll enjoy it. We've got Lawn Fawn. We've got the giant Happy Easter, the stitched hillside borders, which I love the detail of the stitching. And this is something new. These were from last year. This is Tiny Spring Friends, and it is so adorable with all these little characters. It's got a feel better, an umbrella and a cloud with some rain, flowers. It's got the bunny and a little chick. Happy Easter Spring. So perfect for the spring season, right? And I purchased the coordinating dies with this as well. This stuff is from Amazon. I will link what I can find down below. I'm sure all this is still available through Lawn Fawn if I can't find it on Amazon. But nevertheless, let's get started with stamping. I'm gonna use my Mini Misty today and Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I've got 80-pound cardstock here. And I am going to cut out a couple characters and the bunny and the flowers. So let's see here. And I might not use all of them, but I'm kind of sticking with a theme. And maybe a girl and maybe a little boy. We've got a boy with an Easter egg, so let's use that. And then we'll grab the girl with the Easter bunny's ears. And then I want both little flowers. And I think that is it. So I'm gonna position these and get these stamped out. And we're doing this first to allow the ink to dry before we start coloring because everything will bleed together and it takes a few minutes for this ink to dry. It is a fast drying ink, a fade resistant ink, and we are going to be using alcohol markers today, but nevertheless, it needs some time to dry. A few minutes. So these stamps are new, so I'm just conditioning them, just wiping that kind of oily film off of the front of the stamps there. And I'm going to stamp this out twice just to thicken these lines. It's kind of a marbling going on, so make sure my paper is still nestled in that corner so everything lines up as it should. And I'm not pressing very hard because these stamps are so tiny. I don't want it to be too thick and bold and bleed. So I think I'm gonna have to probably stamp some of these out again. So I'm just gonna run my finger over these little stamps again and then stamp them out one more time. I'm just not really thinking that that's a good impression. Okay, so I've got all the characters stamped out. I'm gonna set them to the side while they dry, while that ink dries. I'm gonna bring in my hillside borders, and I pulled Parsley from Concord and 9th. And I think I wanna do 2 layers of this somehow. So it comes with 2 that are more wavy or hilly, so to speak, and then 2 that are more subtle. So let's add 1 of each. Let's just say we'll do these 2. So what I want to do, I need to think about this. I need to decide how high. Okay, so I think I'm gonna make this heel this deep. So I'm gonna turn this around so it's facing the correct side, and I need my really low tack tape here. I'm gonna tape it down, and I need to make sure I can still fit it in my die cutting machine. So I think I'm gonna make this a little more shallow. So I'm gonna run this through and get this hillside cut out, and then let's see if it'll go in like this. And then I'm going to line up the second one the same way and cut that through. So one is gonna be taller than the other so I can overlap them. Oh goodness, sorry about that noise. So I can overlap them and create, you know, more of a dimensional hillside. Man, that really came out shallow. I think I did it wrong. I wanted this to be it. I positioned it wrong. Let me think. I need to, crud. I need to do that again. Well, maybe. Sorry if this is not making sense. It will in a moment. I just kind of get confused with these hillsides. You've got to really pay attention to how you're laying your die on your paper. You know, the actual part of the die that cuts through the paper, you want to make sure that you're positioning that correctly so your hillside is correct. So this is better. So now I could use these two, but I want a little more hills just to kind of break that up. I just need to pay attention to how I position my die. Okay, let's see how this second hillside looks. I think that this is going to work nice. Something along those lines. And then we've got, I already cut down the panel and actually embossed it. I used the Spellbinders Head in the Clouds die. I love this. I used this not too long ago with a Spellbinders birthday dragon. It's an interactive card. It was really cute, but I love this embossing folder. I love these clouds. So I'm going to bring in the hillsides here and line them up and see how this looks. And I already have the panel trimmed down to size. So what I will do is just trim off the excess of the green. And I think I like that. I think I like that hillside there. And I would just trim off that excess. So we've got that done. One thing that I need to do that I probably should have done before I started recording, because I don't think this will fit. Well, maybe it will. I was thinking that I should have cut this out on my Spellbinders, but I think it will fit through my mini die. Oh, perfect. Okay, so now I need to cut this out a couple times in white, and then we can start coloring. It's coming together. I love, love, love Lawn Fawn for their scene building capabilities. This is going to be so cute and playful and great for the season. I'm cutting this out in 80-pound cardstock, and I think we should cut it out a couple times just to build it up to add a little dimension. So I cut the Happy Easter out in 80-pound cardstock 3 times, and I pulled some Aqua Sky from Concord and 9th. I want to do a little bit of blending there, and we've got the hillsides, so we need a color, but what I'm thinking is let's build this up first, because I think it'll be, well, it's going to help me visually kind of color and make sure that I am kind of sticking with this spring themed Easter card. I want to make sure I pull the right colors, and I'm a visual person, so let's just start here. So I'm adding foam tape to the back, and it is 5mm. I really like it. I have been using it for a while, but one thing that I'm running into is that it takes up a lot more space because my cards are so much thicker. So I am going to change that up once I'm out of this foam tape. I need some thinner foam tape. I just need to figure out how thin and where I should order it from. Okay, so we've got our top folding card here in 110-pound cardstock. It is an A2 size card base. And then we've got our panel, and I trimmed this down and embossed it with that cloud embossing folder from Spellbinders. And the final measurements of this panel are 3 3/4 by 5. So it gives us a little margin. Because we've got white on white, I feel like it breaks it up a little bit by sizing the panel down. So now we can see that margin there, and then we've got the nice dimension with the foam tape. So now we've got, I need to trim these down. I can just mark it with some, I'll mark it with a pencil that I need to get. So I should have applied the hillsides first and then trimmed it off and then applied my panel to my card base, but that's okay. Okay, so once again, let's make sure that these are aligned. Just marking that with my pencil there, and now I was thinking about getting out my paper trimmer, but I think I can do it. So this is only one layer. I'm going to make sure that I cut that well, and I did. So now I'm just going to use this as a guide for the second one. I cut it down a little too short, I think. I think one of them's a little too short. No. Okay, so I'm going to glue these hillsides together. So let me add the glue to the top layer. Make sure I add the glue around the edges there. And I'm going to line it up at the bottom, just barely. So for this little bit, that little overhang, I'm going to use my paper trimmer off camera real quick to trim that down and make that a little cleaner. Okay, I trimmed it down. It has much cleaner edges now, and it is almost too short. But I don't think you're going to be able to tell. I mean, it is just ever so slight. But adding glue to the back side of this, and let's make this permanent. And make sure it's just aligned right along the base of that panel. And it's just barely, man, I guess it's perfect. So close to the edge, it's perfect. Okay. So what do we think? I love that color. Okay, now we've got the Happy Easter. So I'm gonna move our card base and our panel aside, but I love how this is looking. Now, we are going to, let me grab a blending brush. I'm going to add a little bit of ink to my brush and then tap it off on my glass mat to soften it up a bit so it's not so harsh. And then I come in very, very light. Just add a little color to the Happy Easter. And this is, I want it really light to kind of mimic clouds, the sky. Because the background of the panel is the clouds, but it's all white. So this is kind of bringing in the blue element. Okay, so I think I am done with the ink blending. I am gonna hold this and bring in my card. Oh yeah, that is perfect. Perfect. Okay, so move this stuff aside and put this up. I need to clean off my glass mat. We need to layer the Happy Easters, and then we need to color. But first, let me clean off this glass mat. All right, so it's time to start coloring. I will zoom in a moment, but I want to let you know that I'm using my Tri-Blend alcohol markers, multiple different sets that I'll be using, but I've got the swatches here just over to the side so I can use that as a reference. And I want this to stay soft and more, for Easter and spring, kind of more pastels. So I'm gonna do my best and kind of use the lighter tones of my alcohol markers here. So we want to use the flowers. I'll keep those the same, adding green for the grass and making the flowers pink. And I've cut it out 3 different times. 2 are duplicated. And I really like these because it is 3 markers in one. It's got the light, mid, and dark tone all in one marker, so there's no guessing. I love that. So I'm gonna come in with the Pale Pink blend in light and then color in the flowers. And I need to zoom in for you guys so you can see. These are so small and so dainty. But we're gonna keep it soft pink. And let's make her little bunny ears this light pink as well. And I guess I can bring in the Fair Skin blend in light, and I'll color in their little faces and their hands. Her legs are exposed, but that'll help bring the character to life as I start pulling other colors to use for their clothes. I want to color the little chick in yellow, so I'm going to come in with the Citrus blend in the light and just do an all over color because he's so tiny. And for his little feet, let's just come in with an orange, once again in light. And I added the little orange for the beak. And let me bring in the tan blend, and I'm gonna go ahead and color their hair. And I'm just gonna finish coloring this. So I think I'm gonna speed this up a bit and finish coloring. So if you're curious, I'm going to set all these markers to the side so I can write down what colors I used for these little characters. And I messed up on the little boy, so I marked him out and then cut him out, or colored him out again. And now we need to cut these out. I'm just looking over to make sure that I have everything because I've got the rabbit right there. And these little dies here are so tiny. It's crazy how tiny these little characters are, but I think it's so cute. So I just need to find which ones I'm going to use and then bring in my snippet tools here and cut these apart. So I think I got the little girl with the bunny ears. Okay, yes. And I like her because her arm's kind of swaying out. I'm going to give her the basket. So it's going to be like she's holding the little basket there. I'm going to use this really low tack repositionable tape. And try to keep it off my character as much as I can. And I am just going to go through and find all the correct dies here and get them placed, taped down, and then we'll cut them out. Okay, so we've got all our little characters. I'm so excited to see what these look like. And that nice, crisp, clean cut edge. How cute. Seriously. This is just darling. Okay, so I need to make sure I don't lose any of these little pieces. So I'm just going to set them. Well, I don't want to lose the die cut, and I don't want to lose our little character either. So just making 2 piles here. Forgot to get out my Spellbinders magnet. Okay. Oh, and look at our little girl with the little bunny ears. Oh my goodness. Just cutesy, cutesy, cutesy. It's just in the little things. Okay, so let's magnetize our card base down. And now bringing in our Happy Easters. Let's go ahead and layer these up. Just going to use liquid glue real quick and add it all over and stack these layers. And then I think we'll just add the characters around the Happy Easter, maybe interacting with the text itself. So we'll figure out that position once we get this fixed on the card. I love this color. I think that that looks so nice, and I'm glad I did the ink blending instead of cardstock. It looks more organic. Okay, so let's say we position it like that, and then bring in my wax tool here to pick up these little guys. I'm going to spread them out. Okay, so the flowers most definitely down in the grass. And some fashion. And then maybe the little chick. Not sure about that. And then no rhyme or reason with placement. I think I'm just trying to figure out what fits where. We've got her little Easter basket that needs to be attached. So what do we think about that? Let me zoom back in so you can get a better visual there. I'm wondering if we should move this down a bit. No, I like it more towards the top, interacting with the clouds more and just barely kind of interacting with the green hillside. So what I think, let's just move these little characters off real quick. Let's make the Happy Easter permanent. I'm going to use liquid glue again and get this positioned. And I don't know if I need to cut out more little characters, I can, but maybe I need to take one away. So we'll see. Like maybe we don't necessarily need the flowers. I'm not sure. Something is off. So let me try not to get glue everywhere. Okay, making sure it's straight and center aligned and interacting with the hillside cutout just a little bit. So I played with the characters a little bit more, and I think I like the positioning of how they are. I might move the rabbit, but I like the little boy down here, and I think that it's well balanced. So I need to apply a little glue to the basket here and attach it to our little girl. Whoa. Just barely. I don't know if they're supposed to go together or not, but it kind of looks like it should. It's just really big. All right, so let me grab my tweezers just to get my big fingers out of the way. I'm going to apply some glue all over our character and that basket, and I'm going to make her permanent. And she is going to be interacting with the letters, the Y and the R, and then the rest is just lifted up just a bit, because we built our Happy Easter up a couple layers. All right, so let's add our little boy. I'm questioning the chick and the bunny rabbit, but I wanted to make sure that I had a home for our bigger characters first, and then fill in the smaller ones, such as the little chick and the rabbit. Fill those in where it is necessary. And I also do have one other flower that I colored that I can cut out. Again, I think that would be too much, but I'm wondering if maybe we need one interacting somewhere up here. Let me play with, I really think it needs something down here to fill in that space. I don't really like that, so I think that that's why I kind of like the bunny where somewhere in this little position. So let's make that permanent as well. And it's just, I think I don't like it because it's got this white space here and this kind of comes up real high. It's just the way that I cut my hillside out. I should have trimmed the other end so it wasn't so dramatic, but we're making it work. It's okay. Just fill in that space with our little rabbit there. I think I'm going to place the little chick right over part of the H and the A of happy. And it's a little higher than our girl. The feet wise, like starting at the feet, I wanted to make sure that this one was up a little higher. And then let's just make these little flowers permanent because I'm so not sure. So what do we think? Do we have enough little characters or do we need more? Am I missing just an embellishment? I'm not sure. I need to look at this for a moment and kind of gather my thoughts and see what is missing. Or maybe really nothing. Maybe I'm just being a little critical of myself. So I'm gonna sit on this for a little bit and I'll come back. I'm gonna zoom in. I've been playing with embellishments and I'm thinking something like this to fill in what I feel like is lacking in the card. Now this is hard for me to commit to, but I'm going to start off with this trio up here. And I am using little sequin discs from Spellbinders. And I'm using 2 different sizes, the smallest one and the size up for each little trio. I'm not sure about this one over here. I'm not liking that one, but definitely these 2 little trios here. And I love the color of those sequins. So let me move those over. So this is what we've got with the 6. And I just feel like it's missing something, like in this area and in this area. But like, is it too intentional with these kind of being diagonal from each other? I think that's what it is, and I feel like I need to break it up. And this is all just over-analyzing everything, because it is really not that big of a deal. But I'm letting you know where my brain is at, and I think we're just gonna go with it. Maybe we want 2 instead of 3. Yeah, I think I like that. So we'll do just 1 small one, and then 1 sized up. And they're all flipped, so the sequins are kind of like bowed. So the flat portion of the sequin is glued directly to the panel, and you can see that it's kind of bowed out. See that? All right, guys, so this is many elements coming together, but a lot of Lawn Fawn. And I like it. I still feel like it kind of needs something else, but I think I'm just overanalyzing it because there is a lot going on. If you really look at it, what else is there really to add? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to leave it. I like it. If I make changes, I will let you know. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, where I have been really trying to post regularly on the things that I've created. So I will link that in the description box, and I will try to list everything that I used in today's video to bring this card together as well. And that's it. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next card or craft. Happy Easter, everyone!